So the plan is to make some thumb screws. And I made a little sketch here. It's not to scale. So we want to have a knurled knob section or thumb nut section, a little step down, and then we're going to drill and tap for 1/4 28 thread all the way through. Okay, so I've got a piece of brass over here in the lathe. It's a little oversized, so I need to turn it down to, we're going to shoot for 9/16 or 14.3 millimeters. We'll get that turned down, and then we want to run a knurl all the way down, and then we will start to put the step in and part off the nuts one by one, and then the second operation will be the drilling and tapping. Okay, let me get you on a tripod here and let's see what happens. Alright, we're going to touch off and zero out our indicator. I got it pretty close already. We'll just double check here. Alright, that looks pretty good. And let's start with 20 thousandths. We've got to go a total of roughly 95 thousandths. Alright, just want to see what kind of a, if we're getting any taper here or not. Okay, 7/16. Yeah, we're getting quite a bit. $709, we'll call that. That's a lot of taper. This lathe has got a lot of wear. Okay, do we want to adjust the tailstock? Yeah, I think we will. Alright, I'm going to do that off camera. Alright, we adjusted our tailstock. I'm going to stick with the 20 thousandths cut until we know we've got the taper situation figured out. So here we go. Bring it back at the end of the cut. Okay, let's get a measurement, see how we did. $666. Uh-oh, hope that's not a bad sign. 664.5. Let me try a different spot here. 665. Alright, so I'm going to call it a thousandths taper. For what we're making, it's not worth messing with it any more than that, so we're just going to go for it. Alright. I re-zeroed our indicator and just did a little bit of math. We got 51 thousandths per side left to take off, so let's take half of that. Let's take 25. 25 right there. Okay. Alright, another measurement. 617, 615. Okay, so 2/1000 taper. Alright, we're gonna go for it. This should be our finished pass. We got 27 thousandths left to go. Okay, I got 563, 562 and a half, which is actually correct, and 561 and a half. Okay, good enough for this. So I've had this genuine Aloris knurling tool ever since I've had my lathe. That actually came with it, and I've never used it. So I finally got a project where I can use it. I've been wanting to try this for a long time. It's just too many projects. So I did buy some straight knurls a while back for it. So, and that's what I want to start with. So let me switch these out. So let's just take a quick look at this tool first. So this is like a, I guess you would call it a scissors type. This thing is pretty beefy, and these guides ride on some dovetails, and you got a right hand left hand screw. It's got the the standard AXA. I think they use the same one. You can just bolt on the different AXA or AXB, what have you. Yeah, so anyways, let's change these knurls out. I had to do a little cleanup. It's just been sitting on the shelf. It was covered with quite a bit of dust and dirt, and oiled it up a bit. All right, put those aside. Let's put a little oil on our axles. These are 3/8 knurls. There we go. Okay, give it a little extra oil. We'll oil it up good when we go to use it. Okay, let's go over to the lathe. Oh, and I already set the center height. So what I did is I just closed it down all the way, put it in the tool holder, and I brought I just used the live center. Let's see if you guys can see here. There we go. And I just brought it in and lined it up with the split line in between. So hopefully that will be good. I'm assuming that's the right way to use it, and it's got to be on center. I don't know, maybe you leave the tool post a little loose to let it float, but we'll start with it locked down and see what happens. Hopefully I've got it set up correctly. I'm going to bring it in and make sure that we're centered and that we're getting equal contact on both rollers, and so on and so forth. Take the spindle out of gear here. Sorry, just handheld here. Okay, so the top one's turning, and the bottom one. Okay, lock our tool post. Well, I guess we just try it. I'm going to slow things down though. Let me put it back here. Okay, well, if things go bad, we're both going to see it happen at the same time. All right, we got everything oiled up pretty good. And back here, we slowed our speed down. Looking to see if we're on center. Power feed. Alright, I took it out of back here and we sped up a fair amount. So what I'm finding is it seems to run smoother just feeding by hand rather than using the power feed. Takes a lot of oil. We're just about there. I think maybe this pass and maybe one more will be enough. Back toward the end here. Wow, that actually looks pretty good. Yep, I think we're going to call that good. Let me clean that off and I'll give you a close-up. So I think for our first time ever knurling, I'm going to call this good. Oh, I'm happy with that. Looks like we got our depth about right. Okay, let me set up for the next operation. So we got a travel dial indicator here, and we got a depth indicator here. So we're going to line up with our parting tool on the back side to the end of our workpiece. Then we're going to step over. We're going to step over 340 thousandths because we want a 1/4 inch plus the thickness of our parting blade. And then we're going to feed in 84 thousandths for our step. And we're going to be going 290 thousandths this way, and then we're going to go in for a parting cut. We're not going to part all the way. We're just going to go in and leave maybe a 1/4 inch, and we'll do that multiple times. And we'll come back and we'll hacksaw these off, and then we'll finish it up with one more operation, probably in a collet. Okay, well, let's see what happens. Try to touch off here. We'll do it right on the corner where we're going to have a little chamfer anyways. Okay, got our indicator set. Okay, so we got to go 340. Verify our touch off here. Okay. That's pretty good. And we're going to go in 84. Alright, well that parting tool isn't cutting. Okay, I'm going to get a measurement. Okay, we got 34 thousandths to go. I just re-zeroed. Okay, that should be it right there. Another measurement. Pretty close. We're shooting for 406. Okay, I'm just going to mark our end point. Okay, that's going to be our end point. Come back and let's run this one down. Set up for the next one. Okay, so here's a way to make a center drill holder. Just got a Morse Taper 2 end mill holder, 1/4 inch end mill holder, and take a number 3 center bit. This one had one bad end on it already. Just grind a little flat, and make sure that it matches up with your dog point set screw, and into the holder. Alright, I had to start that set screw off camera. Alright, anyways, just line it up. Make sure you find the flat. There we go. Now you got a nifty little center drill holder. Okay, so we got a collet set up over here in the lathe. I'm just going to hold our little knurled nut here by the small end. And just got to make sure it's running true. There's not a lot for it to grip on there. Alright, we're just going to start by facing off that little nub. You guys are right in my way, but alright, we're getting there. This brass is really grabby, so it's tricky to drill. I tried experimenting with a couple different grinds on different drill bit, and wasn't having a lot of luck. So I found it's better not to pilot drill it, just mark it with the center drill, and then just go real slow. this brass wants to grab the drill and just pull it in. Okay, made it without any mishaps. All we're doing is just getting it started. This is where it's really handy to have a jog button. Just hitting the jog button, letting the tap kind of start on its own, and that's about good enough. I don't trust this. This brass is a little tricky, and certainly don't want to break off a tap.
This is a split point, not a split point, but yeah.
Spiral point. God, I had a mental block. Spiral point tap, so it was pushing the chips forward. All right, and for chamfering, I'm doing that with a hand drill. Boy, there we go. All right, so let me chamfer it and clean it. All right, well that ended up being quite a few steps involved in making these. It was good learning, good practice. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to bump you guys. Yeah, so we did end up with one casualty. So we already have one spare, so this would be the second spare. What happened is when I was cleaning these up with the parting tool, left a little ridge on this one, so it won't fit into the collet. So I can put it back in the 3-jaw, clean it up a little bit. I'm not going to do that today, but we'll do that when we get a little bit of time. And then this was our end piece, and I guess I didn't see that. I missed cleaning up a little bit of the saw cut on the end. We can fix that up later, but yeah, overall these came out pretty nice. It was fun to make them, but man, a lot of steps. And tell you what, I'd pay $20–25 each for these, and I would be money ahead. But it was fun, yeah. And they kind of fit our product. They're a little beefier than what we need, but they're going to work fine. Now I got to cut these studs off. I'm going to do that off camera. I'm just going to take the grinding cutoff wheel. I'll figure out how long I want these and cut them off and clean the ends up. And we'll get everything test fitted. All right, so here's the completed project, ready for use. So went ahead and we trimmed off all the studs, and these studs are just stainless steel set screws that I had in stock. They're a little long, so I just took a 1/2-inch bolt that it was a guide pin when I was doing a transmission job. Just threaded the end, drilled and tapped. Just screw that on there. Take a nut and just use that as a to hold it, and also measured and adjusted the length I wanted to cut off. Came in with a little abrasive cutter, cut them off, and then used the same tool as a holder to go over to the belt sander and chamfer the ends off. That worked really good. Yeah, and then these are Loctited in with red Loctite. Everything is working nicely. So we'll go over to the grinder in a second and see how they look over there. But yeah, so now we've got some new tools, so we can go make some more tools. Okay, let's go over to the grinder. Yeah, so I want to thank everybody for watching and following along with the project. And Thank everybody who has subscribed. So we may have a problem here, although we'll see when we get to using it. And let's try the other ones. Yeah, so this is our close-up one for thin tool bits for doing the side cuts. And here's the one that's a little further back. All right, so just getting a feel for how this is going to work. So for your face cuts, there you go. That should work good. Now for your side cut, that's when you need one of these guys. Okay, well, on this one I'd have to pull the table back. We might have to make one more that's even shallower. Okay, so here's a 1/4 inch tool bit. So we got plenty of room for that to fit in there. So it's just going to take some testing. Might end up even milling this fence down a little shorter, because it may not need to be that high, and that'll give you more control, be able to get a better grip on it. So I'll just have to try these out, see how they work, but I think we're on the right track. Full disclosure, I did buy one of these. I think it was on eBay. This is a little miter gauge for a Dremel table saw, and it almost fits. Okay, of course the key is the wrong size. That's not a big deal to make a new key. So I may do some experimenting with this. And you can pull the table back, or I might just cut a little bit of this off, because I mean the odds of you ever having to swing it that far, well, maybe not. Yeah, so I'll just have to do some experimenting. I think this was $20, something like that, on eBay. So most of the time you're going to have the table tilted, so that gives you even more clearance from this side of the miter gauge. So yeah, there's plenty of room to work here. Let's try it with a different tool bit. So here's this extra large Acme threading tool. Yeah, but same thing here. You got, that'll be plenty of clearance. And let's try the side cut again. All right, so I set the table to match typical side relief, and yeah, so now we have even more clearance. Yeah, because when I was first showing that, we had the table flat, which rarely you would ever be grinding with the table flat. Okay, let's try the thicker one here. Let's see if this guy's gonna work. Oh yeah. Yeah, okay, so I think we're gonna be good. So I don't think I need to make another one, but I always could, if I need to. Just trying this one again. With the relief angle set, this gauge almost works. I mean, there's not much that would have to be cut off or ground off to make this a usable gauge. So I'll probably go ahead and do that. I don't know if I'll film that or not, but yeah, that way we'll have another option. Okay, we're going to put a fork in this one. Thanks again, everybody, for stopping by. We'll see you on the next video.